Hi, everybody. This is Candace with Pet Boss Nation, and I'm a Pets Plus magazine columnist. Are you with us? Can you hear me? I'd love to hear in the chat if you can hear me. I know you're already like chatting like crazy. I love it. So welcome. You know, I have to say that these Pets Plus magazine Beyond the Pages live webinars I've been doing have just been so much fun. So much fun. Sometimes I'm in a hotel room broadcasting when I travel. Sometimes I'm in my home. Sometimes I'm on location. It's just been so great. And I really am looking forward to what we're doing in 2018 because that's just around the corner. So awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. I see that Ralph and Deanna have said that they can hear us loud and clear. So that's awesome. All right, guys. So I just wanted to explain a little bit more. Here we go. I know a lot of you are repeat watchers, but I am a huge fan of this magazine right here. And I feel like I'm becoming like a collector of these items, which because I can't ever throw one away. And I have a feeling some of you feel the same way. Now, Pets Plus is a magazine that's for the pet industry retailer. And a long time ago, I guess earlier this year, I reached out and I wanted to write for the magazine. And then I decided that we had to have an opportunity for retailers and manufacturers and people who love the magazine to dig deeper and have an opportunity to talk to contributors and writers and people in the magazine so that they can get their questions answered live. So the awesome people at Pets Plus, some of them I know are watching tonight and in the chat room, have allowed me to do this and to bring this to you guys. So this is your time. This is your time to ask the experts questions. And how you do that when you're on with us live is that you can just type them in the chat feed throughout the program as they come up for you. And at the end, we're going to revisit it and ask our experts those questions. Now, why am I doing this? Because I'm a former pet retailer. I've been in the pet industry for over 15 years and with a company called Dogaholics. I still have a doggy daycare, grooming, and training center. And now I offer coaching and consulting services through my company, Pet Boss Nation, where we help bring profits to pet businesses. Thank you for joining us. I also have some very special guests with us tonight. And before I bring them on, I'd love to give them a warm welcome introduction. So since 2008, Dee-O-Gee in Bozeman, Montana, with the owners Josh and Holly Allen, have offered pet products and supplements, natural ones, of course, retail products, full service, grooming, DIY dog wash, and doggy daycare. They are full service, almost offering everything for pet parents. And now they are on the move to franchising their locations. The store was recently featured in the cool stores section of a previous issue, the September and October issue. That's the one right here. And I have a feeling that our Pets Plus team probably has a link to that article, but they were featured in that magazine. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper there because they've got this enormous fire hydrant that I'm sure you guys want to know more about. And they have an Ask the Dog Expert section on their website too. And we're going to dig in. So Holly and Josh, are you with us? Are you there? Come on to the feed. There they are. All right. Hello. Welcome. Oh my gosh. So this is really exciting, everybody. I have to say that I have been learning a lot about Dee-O-Gee and the what they represent, who they are, and the other really cool things we're going to dig into that we've not even talked about in the marketing for this, because this webinar could end up being like 2 hours long. You guys are honestly, we're going to keep it to an hour because I know everybody's busy. But honestly, you guys, I was like, I think I need to reschedule some more webinars with these guys because they are kick ass. Excuse my language, but they're kick ass. So welcome. So I'd love to hear, let's go into the background before we dig into some of this stuff. I want to know the background. You know, how did Dee-O-Gee even come about?
Yeah, so I'm Josh. It's Holly. Thanks for having us. We were newly married 2005-06 or so, and both in careers that we didn't love, that were kind of high stress. I was in healthcare, and Holly was a veterinary technician, a lead tech at one.
Both high stress.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
So we started looking around the pet industry for, what if we were able to do a local dog boutique kind of concept in our town. We felt like there was a gap there, and Holly was at the vet clinic and just hearing local people say, I can't find XYZ dog food, or, asking her to find it for them, clients at the vet clinic. So pretty soon we were, trying to figure out how to have a retail business in the pet industry, which we hadn't done before, and signed a lease and built out our spot, and then the recession hit.
He forgets to mention our dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got this little rescue dog who was just kind of a mess. So that definitely expedited our search to be in the pet industry and find products that would work for him and for other pets in the valley. So he definitely played a big role in that too.
Yeah, but when you think about you guys started in 2008, a couple years after I started my pet business. I mean, even for you guys, that was a hell of a year to start a pet business because of the recession.
Yeah, understatement, right?
Right. You guys were like, yay, we're going to do this. So that it was, did you feel, I know I opened my second location in 2008. It was like rainbows and sunshine. And then all of a sudden, 2009, you're like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
So what was that like?
We didn't have rainbows and sunshine. We opened like late 2008, just in time for the holiday season. So when we opened, it was already, doom and gloom. And so we didn't really experience the boom from before. So we started at the bottom, which forced us to sharpen things up. And, luckily we made it through, and I think it made us better in the long run, but it was hard.
Yeah, you know what? Lucky's not even a word. You were very smart, because the statistic is that half of U.S. businesses never make it to even year one that ever open. And you guys, not only were you in the recession, but you survived that, and you started in the recession and you survived it. I know a lot of us can say the pet industry is recession proof, but not when you are still just starting and trying to figure things out. So I'm sure you're in a small minority of people who started then and survived. So that's why we have you on here. We're going to dig into what makes you successful. Don't worry, viewers. I'm going to probe into that brain of theirs and figure out what it is. So we've got some viewers that are saying they started in 2008 too. Awesome. So let's actually continue talking about that. I know it wasn't on our plan to talk, but what strategies did you implement in those early years? What do you think it was when you were just starting out that helped you be so successful?
Yeah, I think several things. One thing that we didn't short on right from the beginning was marketing dollars. So we didn't really have any dollars, but we knew it was really important to get our name out there. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of people who were doing really well in our town anyways, who were not marketing, we did see their businesses close in the following years. So that was something we did, is we said, we're going to do this, even though we don't necessarily have the dollars set aside for it. But we felt like that was pretty important from the get-go.
Was there a type of marketing that worked best for you? Because Facebook, I think, started in 2008, didn't it?
Yeah.
You couldn't even advertise on Facebook. So what did you do?
We started with mostly print. We were doing some publications around the Bozeman, Big Sky area. I can't remember. You did more of that at that time. So
yeah, we ended up doing a lot of trade for marketing at that time too. So. Yeah. I'd search out people, that I knew had some type of publication that we wanted to be in, and offer them some dog food in exchange for some ads.
I did that for my hairdresser. I did that. I bartered for a decade. But print, I never thought marketing. That's great.
And then we started with one employee. Then we, quickly got another one, but we were just a really light staff. But we'd send them around town with flyers and stuff, just word of mouth, handshake kind of marketing that were grassrootsy feeling.
Yeah, no, that's smart. That's smart. And now here you are ready to, so you started in 2008, launched, got through it. You've got your one store, and you opened a second location. What year did you open that?
2012.
2012. Okay. And is your town small or large? How large is Bozeman?
Yeah, it's not big. Small. It's about 50,000 people in the town, and then Montana State University's here, so that's another like 15 or 16,000. So about 65 in the town proper, and about 85 to 90 in like the larger valley.
Yeah. So when you say back then that you couldn't find anything, I mean, like you legitimately probably couldn't find anything. Yep. And now, do you have competition in that town, or are you guys?
Yeah, there's always been a long-standing like feed store here that has 2 locations, horse and ranch, home and ranch kind of stuff. And then there's a large regional home and ranch supply chain called Murdoch's that's based here in Bozeman. They've got 2 locations. So we definitely had some competition. And then there was also another boutique store here at that time that we felt wasn't that great. They've since closed. So there was definitely some competition in the area, but it's a higher income place, like second home place. And so we felt like there's enough dollars to go around, even though it was small, to make the jump and start our business.
We do also have a PetSmart and a Petco here. So it's kind of it's a small town to have both of those stores in addition to all the.
So your 2, how far away are your 2?
They're about 4.5 miles apart.
Okay. You got your 2. This other company has 2. You've got the big box, and do you have a Walmart or any? I'm sure you've got all those big boxes that have aisles, and so it's really important to differentiate yourselves. Yep. So how do you guys differentiate yourself?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I think a number of ways. One, we do a lot of events. So that's something over the years that we've really tried to make a strong part of our business. Our staff is pretty amazing. I know a lot of local businesses will say that, but we definitely hold them high. They're trained really well. They're really focused on client interaction and relationships. So, I think our staff really prides himself and has a lot of fun on seeing someone come in and knowing their name and their dog's name and their daughter's name and where their son goes to school. And so I think that sets us apart. I think our marketing some.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to dig in just because I'm sure the viewers can now see my screen. And I pulled this because you started talking about your unique marketing. And everybody, on Facebook, if you go to Dee-O-Gee up here, BZN, that's the abbreviation for their town. They have the city that they're in. Look at this event. Well, wait a second. Here it is. Yeah, holiday mimosas, Christmas sangria, cookies and big savings. You have fun there. And you can look at these pictures of these amazing cocktails. And then your upcoming events. I'm just scrolling through here real quick to show everybody. I love this ladies' night out.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, I love that. And here, look, your staff. Here's what I love about what you've done. It's not just about you, but you're incorporating your employees here. They even are doing video for you. Let me go back up to the top. I think there's a video. Maybe it's down here. I apologize. But, Holly, let's dig into that about the team that you have and how do you get them so involved to care so much and want to do these types of marketing and events for you?
Yeah, I think that there's several answers to that. One, there's definitely a purpose behind what we're doing. The people who work for us, I think, come to Dee-O-Gee because they see it as a fun job. They get to play with puppies and, be part of the community, but it is so much more than that. And our staff feels like there's purpose there behind it. So that's huge. That you have that video you have going right now is Ren, our manager, and she actually does a lot of our social media and our Facebook and videos. And so just wanted to give her some kudos there. But our staff they all get along well. We're part of their lives. We hang out outside of work, so that makes a difference.
What's your leadership style, Ben?
Oh, it's definitely changed over the years for sure. When we first started, it was just us. So we were doing everything. It was at that point, it felt easier for me to do something than for me to show somebody how to do it. So we probably did that for a number of years until we finally realized we were growing and getting too big for that. One person can't do everything. So I mean, at this point, with feedback from our staff, we get along quite well with our staff, and we let them speak into our lives and say, hey, you guys, we want to do this. Can you give us, leeway or dollars or whatever it is? So I think at this point, we really encourage our staff to take charge and bring ideas to the table and training or whatever it may be.
What do you do specifically that encourages them to bring? I mean, I know even in my own experiences and being in business, I can say, hey, share your ideas, but that sometimes it's crickets. And sometimes the person who actually So what do you guys do? What tactics do you take?
Well, we do. So one thing we do is we do bi-monthly meetings every other Wednesday morning, or I shouldn't say that, every first and third Wednesday morning. And that's a time where not only do we do continuing education, but we kind of put it out there that, it's not just a, hey, you can contribute. We say we want you to. What are your ideas? We do have a few gals that we consider our lead team. So we'll get together with them on a regular basis and put out our calendar and say, okay, everybody has to bring X number of ideas to the table with follow-up steps, not just an idea, but how are we going to execute this? Mm-hmm. And I think that challenge and our staff seeing, I did that. I had that idea and that event was pulled off miraculously and we had great attendance or whatever it may be. That's such an encouraging thing to them that then, it continues on and other people want to do it. And
to piggyback on that, Holly created this great structure for our in-store events, a number of which you saw on the social media feed there, where if one of our staff members has an idea, then they just get this 2-page document of, okay, tell us how you're going to pull that off. We'll support you, we'll help you, but we want you to own it and lead it. And that's kind of empowered the staff to think on their own. And then we just kind of cheer them on and help them. Yeah. But once we came up with that structure, then it really kind of took off.
Yeah, it sounds like after just getting to know you guys a little bit more, like that systems and processes are a big thing in your business, and that's a perfect example of how you've figured it out. You've made a form for them to follow. It helps teach them. They have ownership, and then they can see this idea come to life and feel like they really contributed. That's really, really huge. I love that. So I feel like we've got some burning interest and questions about the idea of franchising your business. Yeah. Okay. I have, we haven't spoken to anyone yet who's done that concept. And I know in my own experience, I'm in the state of Illinois. And Illinois makes it very difficult to franchise. I think you have to end up paying like the same amount of taxes to the federal taxes as you would for state, pay to the state as you would the same as federal. So Illinois makes it very difficult. So I just got rid of that idea completely. But I know there are a lot of people. I actually have a poll. I'm going to throw up. Let's see if I can. I'm playing all fancy tonight with our webinar. I've got a poll that I just threw up there in the. It's coming. That I threw up. If anyone that's watching has ever thought about franchising their business. Yep, we've got people. Yes. Oh, a little no. All right. So if you see that poll, please answer and take a minute. Tell us about why you thought to do this. I've got a great video, everybody. First, I've got a great video I'm going to share in a little bit, which actually allows you to see the inside of Dee-O-Gee. But what was the decision to franchise?
Yeah, it was, I think everyone that is in the pet industry wants to grow their business, right, and expand. And, we're like-minded. We're entrepreneurs. We got to the point a few years ago where we said, okay, our business is working well. It's successful. It's time to grow and time to expand. But in Montana, we're kind of geographically isolated, but from the rest of the country sometimes, but also within the state. The next closest town for us that could hold a Dee-O-Gee and sustain it is at least 2 hours away, and then 3 and 4 in the other direction. So it's not like we could plop down another store 5 miles away in the next town, like a lot of other places across the country. So strictly the geography was one of our concerns. Like, we didn't want to be responsible for covering shifts or sick employees 2 or 3 hours away. Just didn't work in our minds. And, we've got young kids, especially at that time. We had a newborn, like we can't be driving all over the state opening stores, you know. So what if we had some help? What if we could partner with someone else to do this? And so that's what got me and us looking into expanding by way of franchising instead of expanding by way of corporately owned stores. Mm-hmm. So I looked into it some more. There's a number of pet related concepts that are franchises in the industry. Years ago, we first looked into franchises before we started Dee-O-Gee. So I was at least somewhat knowledgeable of the process, and eventually we found a guy that helped us through the entire process of franchising our business. And it's not a silver bullet. Like, you know, it's hard also.
Yeah, when you say you found a guy, I mean, like is it a franchise attorney, or is this like is it a consultant that helps? Like what type, like if someone were to want to start somewhere, where do they go? Like, do they go on the state level? They go on the federal level? Like, where do they start?
Yep. So there's a number of consultants out there, and the franchise industry is kind of has black eyes in some ways. Lots of people think it's underhanded or manipulated or a cheap way, or people are getting rich off other people. You know, so I interviewed just internet search and word of mouth through people I know, in the business world, found 3 or 4 different franchise consultants that I interviewed. Each of them had various levels of expertise and expense, and all of them had a team around them. So they had legal representation, they had, admin people, they had sales people. And so through my interview process of vetting all of these different franchise consultants, I selected one. And then he helped us through, and I'm still working with him today. He helped us through the process.
Yeah, that's great. So you've gone through that process. Was it and I know there are lots of ways to structure a franchise, right? There's like the flat fee, or there's a smaller fee, and then you can earn a commission off of their sales. But in the beginning, to get started, I'm assuming there's a big fee to get started. Yeah. There's an investment that you have to make. Tell me about that.
The investment that we had to decide, okay, should we open a second location, or a third location, I guess in this case, and the expenses related to that, or should we franchise our business? And, you open a third location, you've got product and revenue and stuff coming in. You franchise your business and you don't have anything coming in yet, right? You got to sell some first. So there was a little bit more risk financially, at least in the startup, because it is expensive. It's, there was a handful of those consultants that was a 6-figure quote to get things started. Ours wasn't quite that much, but it was a definite investment in our future to decide to go the franchise route versus opening that third location, for instance.
Yeah. All right. So I want to continue the conversation about the franchise, but I would love to share the video with everybody that you made. Yeah. So whether you're watching this live or on the replay, I think it's really interesting for a few reasons. It's interesting to watch because they've used professional video in their way to promote their business, which all of you should be doing. Having a professional video is so, so important to just put on your homepage, use on your social media, or send out to press when opportunities come up. That's huge. And then 2 is that they now, if you're watching this and you don't have a pet business yet, maybe you're in the pet industry, but maybe you're a dog walker and you are thinking about wanting to open a store. I don't know, maybe you should call Dee-O-Gee to open a franchise. All right, I'm going to play the video now. It's about 3 minutes. It's not going to take a long time. And then maybe it'll spare some questions and we'll get back to more talking about the franchise.
Dee-O-Gee is a pet supply and services business. Our unique business model couples really high quality retail products along with top-notch services, which include grooming, day camp, and do-it-yourself dog wash.
As we've grown our business, we've fine-tuned this mixture of products and services that does 2 things. It helps local pet owners take really good care of their pets and give them healthier, happier lives. And it makes for a really strong business model that creates loyal, long-term customers.
Before we started Dee-O-Gee, I was a veterinary technician at a local vet clinic. Along came our rescue dog Jericho, who had quite a few health problems. I couldn't find anything locally, and I was also hearing that from our customers at the vet clinic. So Dee-O-Gee was born out of a desire to find healthy solutions for not only Jericho, but people in our local community and their pets.
We started Dee-O-Gee in the fall of 2008, just before the start of the Great Recession. It was a really hard time to start a business, but it forced us to sharpen our business model, our branding, and our mission. Today at Dee-O-Gee, we've created a local hub of pet owners and a brand that is thriving. Things that we're now ready to share with other entrepreneurs that are passionate about pets and ready to make a difference in their town.
The unique products that we carry at Dee-O-Gee include a variety of foods from kibble to canned, freeze-dried, and raw. These are all consciously sourced and hand-picked by our Dee-O-Gee staff. Our hard goods, from collars and leashes to toys, are things you won't find at a big box store. They're USA made and unique products. We couple this with our award-winning services, from grooming to day camp to do-it-yourself dog wash. These things make our customers happy and our customers' pets even happier.
So why might Dee-O-Gee be a good fit for you? We are a fun and innovative team, and with our help, you can bring a Dee-O-Gee to your town, creating a local hub of pet owners where you live. While our goal is not to be the next mega brand, we do believe that pets are healthier and happier when they are Dee-O-Gee customers. So we're currently looking for some fun, pet-loving entrepreneurs that are ready to take the next step, mark their own turf in their town, and be part of our Dee-O-Gee brand family.
All right, we are back. Wasn't that awesome? Did you love that? I mean, you got to see inside their store with that huge fire hydrant. So how do I get one of those fire hydrants, guys?
You have to franchise.
You open a Dee-O-Gee.
Oh, franchise. Okay, all right. What is it actually made out of?
It's interesting. It's a 3D cut foam.
Okay.
And then it's stuccoed, like the outside of a house, stuccoed. And then painted, like we found a faux painter that paints like, you know, how your walls look like they're leather or something. So she did the outside. So, and we've got all those plans ready to, you know, for everyone else.
Right. Thank you. Because it was funny is that obviously if you're going to have a franchise, you have to develop your processes and procedures. And is that something that the consultant helped you do, or did you have to do a lot of that work? We had
it mostly done already, just because of how we kind of operated our business. But he helped us fine tune it and kind of beef it up and organize it a little bit better. So we've, you know, now it's plug and play for the most part.
Plug and play. And so you've already sold a franchise. That's awesome. Yeah. Opening when is that one opening? It'll be next spring or summer. It's in a town in Montana. Okay, I was gonna say, are you allowed to disclose the location yet? But the building itself that they'll be in is under construction, so we're just waiting on construction there. But it's in a really great spot. Okay. Okay. Cool. So when you were thinking about, I guess it makes sense for me that you wanted to do the franchise model because of your location. Mm-hmm. If your city or your state was different and more like Illinois, like the Chicagoland area where there's, 3 million people in Chicago, and then there's, suburbs filled with more millions of people, do you think you would have opened more locations, or are you really excited? I mean, I can't imagine that you wouldn't say you're not excited about the franchise model, but, yep. But I guess what are the perks or pros and cons to either one for you? Yeah, for sure. We have 2 successful stores, and so that's probably the bare minimum you could have as a proof of concept to, have convince someone else to partner with you and invest in your brand. Yeah, that's true. Right, real quick, sorry, that's true, because it is proof of concept. You have to even start a franchise. You have to have multiple locations. Yeah, so we have about the minimum, right? So we probably, if we would have been in a geographic area where it would have been an easier next step and closer, we probably would have opened 1 or 2 more corporate stores first. Okay. But like I said, when we first
were looking into the pet industry a decade ago. We looked at pet-related franchise concepts then and didn't find anything we liked, so we started our own. And so it's still kind of, everyone on the webinar is probably aware of the franchise concepts in the pet industry, and we still definitely feel like there's a gap there that we can fill that no one else is doing. And there's enough markets across the country where, that there's places that are underserved that we can help out.
Right. Yeah. We won't name any names of other franchises, but I will say, I do think that, what makes you unique is that you've got that retail, the services, the self-wash, the grooming down. And, based on, when I talk to a lot of people, it's like they either offer all the services and then have a really hard time with retail, even if they have it in their space, or it's the opposite where they are a retailer and just don't have the space for those services.
Yep.
Right.
You have doggy daycare. How, because that is, now that I think about it, that is a true struggle with a lot of doggy daycares to get their consumer to want to buy retail products, because they're in the mindset of they're going to drop off, pick up, they're just in a hurry. How do you capture those? And same thing with grooming. I think that's a pretty common problem, is that grooming customers come to drop off and then pick up and they don't really buy anything. They're obviously buying their products other places. How do you capture those customers?
We do a few things, but yeah, you're right. That is really hard. I mean, that's something that we've struggled with, and we think at this point we've got a pretty good system, but part of it is our floor plan is the clients cannot pay at grooming or day camp. They have to walk through products, through the chews, through whatever it may be, and then have to come back to our front desk to pay. We were concerned that would be annoying to a customer. Nobody seems to mind that. Most of our clients are in a good mood and happy to be there. So that definitely helps. I think it helps impulse buying. We have targeted those people. So through the years, we've done different things where we'll put together a cute little gift package, basically with some coupons on it, saying, bring this up to our retail counter and you can have a free small bag of food, or different coupons to get them to come in. Our day camp, 5-time and 10-time punch passes also have a discount for food on there, and it's only for food. So that's a continual conversation that we have as they check out as well. Did you want to use that coupon today? Can we talk to you about, do you have any questions? Whatever it may be. So we have targeted those people through the years. I'm sure, there's still a lot of them that we could get to buy retail products, but it has definitely worked. We've seen a difference.
Yeah. So thinking about back to that video. So the little house hut, they go and you're saying they check in there, but they don't actually check out there.
Correct.
Well, they check out, but they can't pay there.
They can't pay. They grab their dog from there, but they can't.
Yeah. Well, since we're just talking about the concept, normally I take questions towards the end, but we've got a couple franchise questions. I figured since we're on that topic, it might be good to chat about that. Yeah. And I'm going to, look at this. I'm going to test out another new feature we have here. I'm going to broadcast this to the, I think people can see it on screen. I know we can't, but I'm hoping on the replay it's showing up. But Kim Looper, she's on the East Coast. She wants to know, how and where did you advertise your franchise to your friend? Oh, sorry. No, it's how and where did you advertise for franchisees? Yes. Meaning, I guess advertise. How do you find franchisees? Sure.
Yeah. So how are we putting our brand out there for others to learn about, to open their own Dee-O-Gee? One thing that we decided when we first launched the franchise concept is we didn't want to grow too big too fast. We didn't want to have 20 stores one year and 30 stores the next year. And we wanted to have a family and a life, so we haven't marketed super aggressively for that reason. We wanted to find some select partners that really wanted to lock arms with us and get the first couple open. So we have advertised a little bit with some national franchise brokers who, they have clients that are wanting to start some type of franchise business. And so if they're interested in a pet concept, they'll present Dee-O-Gee to their client. So, and then that broker would then get paid if the client signs the franchise agreement. And that's about all we've done. We've done a little bit of social media marketing. We're listed in the Inc. Franchise 500 like the back pages of it where we're not in the top 500 yet, but
like, and even on like what is it, on like the airplane, I feel like that they always have like in that magazine, there's like the best franchises to buy, or I don't know, maybe it's maybe it's the Inc. 500 magazine. I don't know.
You got to pay a lot of money to be on that list.
Yeah.
So we haven't actually marketed super aggressively, only because we didn't want to get the cart before the horse. You know, we wanted to just get our first couple and make sure we can help them out the way that we promised we're going to help them out. Make sure our systems and our structures work well, and then once we get that, then we'll probably turn up the heat on marketing a bit. But I wanted to make sure we can do what we say we're going to do first.
Is that a philosophy that you follow in your business a lot? Kind of like test it first before you really drive home?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think there's times where we've brought in a new line, like brand new, and just went all in on it, and that's sometimes been good, sometimes been bad. Yeah. And then other times we've tested the waters a little bit with our staff or select clients, and go for it. So we've done a little bit of both, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. And all right, we've got another question from Frank. Let's see. Here we go to broadcast it. Is your focus on running the current locations compromised at all while trying to sell franchises?
It's a great question.
So yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, I will let Josh answer too. I don't think so, because the way Josh and I have our roles structured in our business, that gave way to focus on franchising. Josh does most of that, where he does our marketing, our back end. He lovingly refers to himself as the janitor. But it's given him the time to do that, where he's probably just working more outside of work. So it hasn't compromised our current location. We have a great lead team. We have 2 gals in addition to myself who they work way more than I do. They do a great job. They're leading our staff. But yeah, so I think just the way our roles are played, it really hasn't compromised our current location.
But we have added one of those manager positions. Didn't exist when we started franchising. So we've added some staff to cover what I used to do. So I'm mostly all franchise, and then our WO company, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But
so to get to grow it all, and I like to talk about this a lot with my private consulting clients and coaching clients too, is that everyone wants to grow, but they are already wearing so many hats and they're working too hard. And the only way you'll grow your business is if you have trained employees and team members who you can trust, that you can delegate tasks to, and that will help build your business as much, in the way that you want and that you see the vision for. We've talked already about how to make those good company culture, how to keep the staff motivated and working for you. But how did you identify the key things to start to delegate, to open up more time for yourselves to pursue these other interests?
I think part of it was we identified traits of our current key staff members in areas where we thought they would excel or they'd like. So our one of our managers has a photography degree, and her personal Instagram feed is amazing. So we said, hey, what if you were the one in charge of social media? What do you think about that? And she's taken it, and because it used to be all me, and now that it's not me, it's way better. And she's taken it and just made it awesome. So I think partly we just identified, strengths of our current staff and said, let's hand off what we're doing, or part of what we're doing, to these people that probably do it better than we can.
Yeah, it's realizing that you're not the best at everything. Yeah. Looks like Judy has a question here. Let's see if they broadcast it live. Okay, is there a template on steps how to establish a franchise?
Yes, not a specific one that I know of. I mean, there's probably, you get a million results on a simple Google search, and then you'll get retargeted by those people, and they'll follow you on the internet. So, but yeah, you can buy books on it. That's where I started, just doing my kind of research, and then eventually, found some consultants and interviewed them and hired one. And but there's a lot of work that goes into the front end of it. And so that template on how to start one is probably pretty lengthy, but there's a lot of resources online.
Okay, great. And how did you differentiate between what would be maybe like scammy or not of value versus going with someone you could trust? Did you have a kind of your own checklist for that, or how did you?
Yeah, some of that was a little bit of gut feeling. Like you can tell when people are, or at least I can, when they're super selly and just kind of sleazeballish, and they promise a lot of stuff with nothing to really back it. So it was kind of just some natural hunches and instincts. And then the guy that I ended up actually hiring was a personal referral that that someone had vouched for him that used him for a different franchise concept in a different industry before. And so that's what I ended up going with.
Okay, great. So obviously you guys, you for those of you who are still on with us and watching, I mean, Dee-O-Gee, Josh and Holly are almost whizzes, I feel like, at business. And they've created an amazing retail store and service-based business, along with now launching franchises. And they actually have a whole nother business that we haven't talked about yet. And I want to dig in. I just want to be able to show it to you because this is also, I think, something that a lot of retailers have interest in doing. And that is creating a product of your own. Now, you guys have created a product called WO, right? That's the brand line.
Yep.
Yeah. WO. And I've got some pictures I'm going to share in a little bit about that product. But what I hear a lot, and I feel like the conversation is to create a branded product. Like, why didn't you private label Dee-O-Gee products? Why did you make a whole nother line of dog toys and products under a whole nother brand?
Yep. That's a good question. We wrestled with that one. You know, we were, you know, bullish on Dee-O-Gee and think it can do great things. But I also didn't want it to be all under the same roof. I didn't want to, you know, put all of our eggs in one basket, I guess. Like, okay. What if down the road,
how can you diversify for yourself?
Yeah. Okay. What if down the road we don't have Dee-O-Gee or something, you know, then we still have this other brand that can stand on its own.
That's, whoa, my mind's blown. To be like, but that's so smart. That's so smart. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we could have like probably 5 hours of webinars with you guys. Okay, I love it. That's so cool. Okay, so not only, so you chose that brand because you wanted to diversify. Now I'm going to show a couple pictures. I'm going to share my screen and we'll see if it comes up. Now, tell us, while I'm doing that, tell us what WO is all about.
Yeah, so it was about 5 years ago now. I was on a service trip with our church in Ethiopia and ended up with an organization that cares for widows and orphans over there, and came home and just felt like I was supposed to help them some more, the kids and the moms that I was spending time with, and thought, well, we've got a dog store. How could we leverage our pet industry kind of experience and help out those kids? So we said, what if we made a dog toy and then a line of toys eventually that had a social cause tied to it, kind of like Tom's shoes, like buy one, give something else. So, you know, food in Ethiopia, especially for the organization that I was working with, was a really hard thing to raise funds for. So I said, all right, we'll make a dog toy and we'll kick back 2 meals for those kids for every dog toy that we sell. And I mean, really, it was simple as that. So we came up with the name WO, which stands for, the W stands for widow, the O stands for orphan. So it's just WO is the brand. And we've been going at selling these toys for a couple of years now. Dee-O-Gee is our #1 customer. But we have them, you know, in a number of stores across the country too. And so we sell them at a wholesale price point to other, you know, independent pet boutiques.
Okay. And so where are they manufactured?
They're manufactured here in Bozeman, actually.
Okay.
So we partnered with a manufacturer and package them up and ship them out under our own brand. We don't make them ourselves, but we
right. Yeah. So you're buying that. Do you design the products yourselves, or do you outsource this company to design them for you?
No, I kind of both. we got some good friends that are product designers here in town that have designed pet toys before and have won like Pet Toy of the Year design awards before in years past. And they just, the stars kind of aligned for us. So I'm friends with some pet product designers, and we have a dog store, and let's make a product. So we partnered with some designers. I'm not a designer by trade, so we had some people that are really good at it help us.
Okay, and so to get started off the ground with these toys, I'm going to go back to my previous screen. Was that a big upfront cost for you as well, or were you able to work with them?
No, it was a big upfront cost just because the two products that you see with that dog, there's like a frisbee tug toy called the Disc, and then there's the stick one called the Bone. They're thermoplastic injection molded products, so there's a custom cut out of a hunk of steel production molds that go into each one of those, and they're 20-30K for one mold, even a really small one. So it's a significant investment on our part, but I don't know, we felt pretty called to the mission of helping those kids, and so for us it was more of like an obedience or something that felt like we were supposed to do. So we went for it.
Great. So I love that. So you then, I've got some other fun pictures. They're all from your Instagram, so nothing should surprise you. But if you follow them along Instagram. And the reason I, wanted to talk about this is because, one, I love this that you chose. Now you said you had already visited, but I love this kind of campaign where you're saying that what if your dog got a new toy and you helped feed orphans in Ethiopia at the same time? That's really, really powerful.
Yeah.
Really powerful. As much as, we want to help, dogs and rescue dogs and everything we can do, but for them is very important. But I feel like when you talk about humans and how you can help people on the planet, like that's a really powerful statement.
Yeah. We felt it was unique in that way too. There's a number of pet product companies doing great things, give back kind of things in the pet industry. And we love those kind of companies, but we felt like this one was unique in that it's kind of leveraging all of our loves for all of our dogs and pets and leveraging that passion to help others that need it more than we do.
Definitely. And then it looks like you were part of so you went on a trip recently. For everyone that's watching, what was interesting is we were talking about when to schedule this and kind of then following up with like some emails, and he was like, I'm out of town, I'm busy, but here's some stuff. And I was like, oh, when I found out you were actually in Ethiopia like a week ago.
Yeah.
Like a week ago. I'm like, oh, like he was legitimately out of the country on like another mission trip doing something like and then I realized it's all for your business, and not all for your business, but like it's tied into business to helping these people. Yep. And so I went onto your Instagram and I that's why I wanted to talk about it with you guys, because again, as an entrepreneur, you've been able to step out of your business to go fulfill these kind of causes that are really important to you. So tell us quickly about the Global Leadership Summit and how you participated with this company.
Yeah, so that is an event that it's actually based in Chicago there, but it's a simulcast event in August throughout the U.S. And then in October, late October, early November each year, those recordings from those leadership events are taken internationally into places where there's lots of leadership challenges. So Ethiopia is one of those places. So 5 years ago, I went with a team to go put on this Leadership Summit event in Ethiopia for business leaders and church leaders there. So that was kind of my initial reason for going there, and where I got the initial vision or prompting for starting WO as well. And then I hadn't been back until just a couple weeks ago. We were back there for the same reason. We did the Global Leadership Summit again, and then I met with the organization that we support over there, and then a sneak preview, I actually met with some leather manufacturers over there because Ethiopia has a lot of cattle and they do leather manufacturing pretty well. So we're working on some WO leather, really cool leather dog collars and leashes, and
really
Ethiopia that'll have the same give back to Ethiopia again.
That's really wonderful. Yeah. So this is you in Ethiopia last week.
Yeah, that's not what I regularly wear. That's like, it was a gift from, it's like a traditional Ethiopian dress thing. So yeah.
And then these are the women that are part of your organization you give back to?
Yep, some of them.
Mm-hmm. And this is the last picture that I have, but tell me about this little girl.
That's one of the girls that is in the care of the organization called Bring Love In There, and she was just like hamming it up for the camera, and she has like a really unique facial structure. It was really funny. So the kids are, even in the midst of their like really tough circumstance, they're so filled with joy that, you know, it's great to be able to help them.
Yes. Yes. I've been to Africa. I was in Zimbabwe and Zambia, and it was the same way. I get a chance to go back. I'm going back in February. I'm really looking forward to it. But that was one of the things that, you know, how do you build a business, get to a point now? There were many years, and I'm sure you guys felt the same way. There were many, many years in business that you could never just like disappear like that. Right. And, and leave the country. And so, you know, to wrap it up, and we still have, you know, 5 or 8 minutes here, but I really would love, and everyone watching, if you have any questions about anything we've gone over, please put them in the feed. There are some questions here about these toys, actually, which we can get to at the end. But what is it that makes you guys who you are, right? Like individually, like Holly and Josh individually, like what are those key traits that you think that, you know, you possess that have moved you forward in this way? Holly, you can go first. Or Josh. I don't know.
I don't know. That's an interesting question to answer, because it feels like, you know, you're boasting about yourself or something.
I'm asking. Here's why I'm asking. It's not boasting, but we've got entrepreneurs watching this, and they might be totally overwhelmed with cash flow problems. They may be totally stressed because they can't manage their time. They are probably looking at all you've accomplished and gone, I can't do that. You know, like I don't have those kind of connections. So that's what I want to do. I want to know, like those to me, those types of thoughts are just negative beliefs they're telling themselves. Right. And they have to find something that they can hold on to help them be successful. And so I really want to know, like, what it is that you do that you think sets you apart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think you know, for us, being a team is huge. Mm-hmm. I think we complement each other. We have our own strengths, and I think we're good at communicating and saying, you know, this is where your strength lies, and this is where mine lies, and so let's work towards the common goal. We try to over communicate. That's really, really big for us. We have definitely sought out counsel through the years, whether it's family members or friends. Josh has done a good job of leading us to do that, saying like, hey, this guy over there, we need to talk to him. You know, we don't know who he is, but we see him doing a really good thing. So we're going to go talk to him, and we're going to have him counsel us over the years. So that's been huge for us, is just, you know, realizing that we can do it, but we're much better off if we do it with the advice and help of other people too. So I think that's probably one of our strengths.
Yeah. And Candace, you said it earlier, you know, the importance of taking time, having staff or having a plan to have time to step away from your business and think kind of strategically. We make it a point to go on a working lunch date every week, where we go to the restaurant, the coffee shop, and just sit there for a couple hours and just hammer out work stuff, and kind of think forward a lot of times in those meetings.
You and Holly go do that, or you and other team members?
As kind of like the leadership team of the company, we don't talk about, or we try not to talk about during that time, our kids at home or, you know, family problems or whatever. We just kind of dive in on business stuff. And it's not in the business where we could get distracted or a customer comes up or whatever. Like, we remove ourselves and give ourselves space to think creatively and strategically.
That's great.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess another thing that I would say is, over the years, I think we both had to be better at it, and it's just taking the advice and the feedback from your staff. That's been huge for us.
Yes. Some of my biggest, most eye-opening moments as myself, like as an entrepreneur, was when you get slapped in the face.
Yes, it's true. No, it's so true. And I think, you know, I mean, if you're not willing to take that advice, or even just hear it and then think about it over the next week, and what are you going to do with it? You know, if you're closed off to that, I think that unfortunately there's probably not a lot of room for growth. Or I mean, that's been really big for us, probably particularly me, with our staff. But it's been one of the best things to help me grow personally and in our business.
Definitely. Okay. So on that, where do you, I guess, I don't know, do you have any business inspiration you can share with us? I don't know if you have any podcasts or books you like to listen to or read.
Business wise, I read a lot of that stuff, as much as I can get my hands on, leadership wise. But recently I've been not doing it. I've been reading fiction books at night to let my mind just shut off.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty big
good
for us, to have a good balance. You get so many balls in the air, and we have a lot of them in the air, that it just sucks the life out of you and burns you out, and then you're worthless to all of the good things that you're trying to do. So I think having balance and reading things that are not business related, at least for me in the evenings before I go to bed, has been like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that too. I was always saying, like, I only wanted to read things if I could learn from it. So I'm not a big fiction person, but now I'm like obsessed with Stranger Things. Watching the Netflix, and it is the same thing at night. I'm like, oh, finally I get to just get into someone else's world. So awesome.
I was gonna say, we do attend that global leadership summit every year, and that's huge for us. Like, that's a non-negotiable. From there, we always take away books or podcasts or whatever it may be from the speakers. And that, each year we find ourselves implementing certain things and bringing it back to staff. So that's a huge one.
Kind of fill this up.
Okay. Yeah. I think Christina, shared the link in the chat thread for that. And I think any kind of business conference that you can attend, whether, even if they are obviously attending the pet trade shows for sure, are important, and at least one big one a year. And then finding another thing that's outside of the pet industry, even if it's in your local chamber of commerce kind of event, or your local city type event, or going to a bigger conference like what you're talking about. So, okay. So I want to wrap up with how people can get a hold of find you guys, but also we've got a couple questions on how they can order these products.
Yeah.
These products. Do you go through a distributor, or do you?
We're selling everything direct right now.
Okay. So if they're interested, do they email somewhere? Is there a website?
Yeah, it's just support. Well, I think Christina posted it. Yeah. It's supportwo.com, just the word support and then wo.com. There's a contact form on there. It'll come straight to me, and then I'll be in touch.
Okay, great. Nancy, again, who was, or Gwen, sorry, was on one of our previous Beyond the Pages webinars, and she just wrote in the chat thread too, one of her reps just showed her those toys and she asked to order them.
Sweet.
So, yeah. Awesome. Okay, wonderful. And obviously, if you guys are interested in learning more about Dee-O-Gee, you can go to their website. They've got a franchise link on there if you want to know more. They are very active in the pet industry. They've been mentioned or been honorable mentions for a handful of cool awards, and I just want to thank you guys so much for sharing with everyone tonight. I can't thank you enough for helping inspire and motivate us. And to anyone who wants to join, we have a free Facebook group community for Pet Boss Nation. Just go to facebook.com/groups/Pet Boss Nation, and the Pets Plus crew, along with myself and actually Holly and your manager, Ren, is also in the community. Josh, we need to get you.
Sorry.
Well, it's a great place anyway that manufacturers and retailers can connect and support each other. So I hope to see you all there. And again, thank you so much,
Thank
Josh
you.
and Holly.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Good night.